What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on the JZ once again, and this is probably the best video on it so far because we are going to be fully assembling it. As you can see, it's just a bare block now. We sent it off to Hack Engineering to get skimmed. They honed it for us as well and deep cleaned it. Last night we just gave it a bit of paint to stop it rusting and stuff. But yeah, time to put it all back together. We've got the new GTE oil pump, we got new G water pump, got all the bearings, ARP head studs, timing stuff, you know, we've got everything. And then most of this won't get used, but some bits will. So obviously still using the factory crank and main caps. You only really need to upgrade these if you're going crazy power, and we're not. Also, Ross is currently cleaning up the GTE pistons and rods. Taking the old piston rings off. We've got new piston rings. I'll show you the part number if you want it. Where is it? There. That's the new part number for GTE piston rings. It's the same for VVTi and non-VVTi. Got it all at JDM Garage. I've already checked all the ring gaps. Make sure you do that before doing it. These are all at 0.58, which is slightly over standard spec, but that's fine, because we're running boost, more heat, so it'll be fine. But yeah, now time to start assembling it. I'm gonna, although it's already been cleaned, it is coated in grease so it don't rust. So I'm just gonna get some brake cleaner on it and clean it all out, and then start putting the crank in and then the pistons. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so I've cleaned everything up with brake cleaner. All looks mint. Make sure there's no or anything, they need to be spotless really. We're going to be using the ACL race bearings. There's the part number if you ever want it. There's standard size, and we've got the ACL rod bearings. There's the part number as well if you need it, if it ever. There we go, focused eventually. Yeah, so you got, they come in two sets. So you've got the clear packs, which is that go on the actual block itself. They have the oil gullies. And then you got the yellow pack, which goes on the main caps. And as you can see, one of them is larger than the other, which that one goes at the front. So the front of your engine has a bigger one than the others. So yeah, let's pop these in there and then go from there. There you go, there's all the mains installed. There's no fancy trick to doing it. You literally just line the pins up and then push down and they sort of click into place. You can't really go wrong because all of these are the same. It's just this one's different, and it's the tab's different and it's wider, so just remember that. I mean, you can't go wrong. Now just install the ones onto here and then clean all the crank up before putting it in. Alright, so I cleaned all of the main caps with some brake cleaner, and I fit the new bearings as well. Same procedure as the block, just pop them in. Now I'm going to clean up the crank quick because I covered it in engine oil just so that it didn't rust while it was out of the engine, because they do rust really quickly. And then just going to apply some assembly lube and then place the crank in. Alright, crank is all cleaned up. Now time to put some Permatex Ultra Slick on all of the bearings, and then we can slot this on. Can never have too much assembly lube. Probably can, to be fair. And then obviously here you have your thrush washers, so it's good to have some assembly lube on there just so it helps it keep it in place as well. We've also got ACL thrush washers. There's the part number if you need it. So here you've got your thrush washer. You want these little line bits pointing outwards, and then you literally, it's quite self-explanatory if you look at the top ones. You just pop them on like that, and then simply literally just spin it round with the crank. Make sure you cover it in assembly lube as well. Now all the main caps are in order as I took them out, but they're marked anyway, so you can't really go wrong. Again, probably put a bit more on here. And have assembly lube everywhere by the end of this. Basically on these thrush washers, I don't know if you can see, the camera probably isn't focusing as usual, but there's part number on the back, so the back always goes to the main caps. Right, so now to torque these down, They're going to be torqued up to 33 foot-pounds, and then it requires a 90-degree turn. And the way you do it, you basically start in the middle and slowly work your way out, like so. So you go one. I'm just going to do them all a little bit tight first. There we go, they're all torqued down, and now you need to do a 90-degree turn. There we go, all torqued down. Just check it spins freely, fruit spins nice. Yeah, now pistons. Right, so on the con rods, same as the mains, just literally pop the old ones out and pop the new ones on. And yeah, these are all cleaned up now, just putting the new bearings on and then we can put them in. Simple as. Right, so now we've got that piston ring compressor there. Just put it on there. Obviously make sure your piston rings are lined up correctly. Check the service manual for that. I think it's like a third each way. But yeah, and then line the little dot on the top goes to the front of the engine. We've already done two. Yeah, now just do the others. Pretty simple. Make sure you lube everything up, and yeah, put them in. We're doing two at a time because you put them in the lowest position. So it's first it's 1 and 6, then it's 2 and 5, then 3 and 4. Alright, so we've got them all in now. Just hand tight. You have to torque them down to 21 foot-pounds, and then you have to do another 90 degrees. So let's do that. There we go, all tightened. Huh, not too bad. Very nice, that freshly honed sound. No scratch marks, which is good. Means we've done it alright. Not damaged any piston rings or anything. Yeah, lovely jubbly. Almost. Looks so nice now. Yes, very good, very nice. Alright, so now time to put the head on. We're using the Toyota factory 2JZ GTE head gasket, not the GE one, just to lower the compression a bit. But yeah, make sure you clean the surfaces as well. You don't want any contaminants on it because it can eat away at this. But yeah, now let's get the head. Alright, head is on. Now we just need to do the ARP head studs. Alright, so we're using the ARP head studs. There's the part number if you need it. Put some assembly lube on the washers before you put the studs in, and I'm using this little hook because you can't get them in afterwards. And then just gently place it down. This is really difficult to do because I'm using my left hand. Well, that was a lot more challenging than all the others. But yeah, so make sure all the washers in there, all lubed up, and then we put the studs in. The studs, you put the solid part down and the Allen key bit up. Just drop them all in there. Alright, all the head studs are in, just hand tight. You're going to need a really slim socket as well, 12 point to get in there, so 13 mil. And now we just need to do the torque sequence. So there it is. So yeah, you just need to follow that. And I think there's 2 steps. You go up to 30 and then it's 90. I'll double check now, but yeah, something like that. Look it up. I've just marked them on the block so that it makes it easier to remember where they are. And yeah, let's do that. So I just looked it up. So you need to follow the sequence at 30 foot-pounds and then go up to 80 with the ARP head studs. There we go, all torqued down. Yeah, 80 foot-pounds. Woo. Still loads to go. Oh well. Right, so it's now time to install the cams. I've already done this one, but basically you just put some assembly lube on all of the little seats and everything underneath. Place the cam on. You'll see they sit comfortably a certain way. You can adjust the timing afterwards, so don't worry about that. And obviously if you've got a VVTi, make sure the VVTi goes on that side and the exhaust goes on that side. But yeah, now we just have to put all the cam caps on. Make sure you clean them all up before putting on. just place them on, and then you need to do this tightening sequence. Take your time with these, because even though they're strong, they snap very easy. So make sure you follow the sequence, do a tiny bit of time. It takes quite a while, but just do a few passes gradually, and it gradually sort of goes down, and then we can torque them all to the correct settings. If you want the torque sequence, that's it. I mean, you can find this on Google. I've just found it on Google. But yeah, just follow the sequence, and yeah, it's good to go. Let's get the other one on, do a bit of YouTube magic. There we go, they're both in. Now you just need to go around and torque them all to 15 foot-pounds or 20 Newton meters. Do that on all of them, and then they're good to go. Then we can start doing oil pump and all the other bits, water pump. Something you want to do as well is just put a little thin layer of silicone along these end caps. Yeah, as you can see, I haven't cleaned this one up yet. They come factory with a bit of silicone anyway, so just put a little bit along there, like I've done on this one, and then sweet. There we go, end caps back on, all siliconed up. Now just need to put this front plate back on, and I'm going to put the covers on now just to keep it all covered, but they will be going on last because they're going to get painted. But yeah, let's start bolting all these bits up then. Alright, so we've got the exhaust cam gear on there. We got this one from Non-Stop Tuning. Nice little unit. Make sure you take the bolts out and put some thread locker on them. You don't want them coming loose. It's not tight yet. I'm going to wait until I do the timing until I tighten it all. The VVTi one is currently over there drying because I'm painting it black, because I just think, I don't know, I think it looked nice. But now we're going to install the oil pump. So I've got new Toyota. There's the part code if you want it. This is a GTE oil pump. So you can use the GE one, but the GTE one flows more oil. It's a slightly bigger pump. It's got better relief, so it's worth upgrading if you're doing the turbo version. If you just stay in NA, obviously just get the GE one, but this allows for extra oil pressure to be able to feed all the turbos and everything, or turbo, whatever you're running. Yeah, now let's install this bad boy. First thing we're going to do is install the front main seal, and then we can bolt this on. Starting to look sick. It looks like a full-on race engine already. Just that little bit. I can't wait for the belt to go on as well. Now with the front main seal, you want to just place it in and just gently hammer it with a hammer. You want it to be flush. You don't want to go any further, because otherwise it will stop the flow of oil. So just make sure it's flush. Some people accidentally put it in further, but yeah, if you tap equally around, it should be alright. These oil pumps come from factory dry as well, so open it up and just put a bit of oil in there to avoid any wear. So yeah. Alright, so you want to put a little layer of silicone all the way around there, around there. It's not the neatest, but it'll do the job. And now just slide it on there. Also, don't forget to put these little O-rings in beforehand. I almost did. There we go, it's all on. These get torqued down to 15 foot-pounds as well. But yeah, now next one is water pump. Also, don't forget to put this washer in, O-ring. Alright, water pump all on, and also put the timing on as well, whatever you want to call it. That's on. And now time to put, I've got to let that dry for another 5 minutes or so, and then put that on, and then put the timing belt on. Yes, it's getting there, it's getting there. Alright, so I've got the other one on, the VVTi cam gear. Now I'm just going to install the new tensioner. Got this bad boy. It's a Koyo one from Japan. You want to put a tiny bit of grease on the shaft in here, just because it's going to be moving a lot. And always grease the shafts up. And don't forget this washer behind it as well. And also put a bit of thread locker on the thread. And then yeah, you can get all the timing done. And then just have to put on the new, obviously the little tensioner spring thing. Now for the best part. Nice. Now just turn it over a couple times, make sure the timing's still all good, and then yeah, it's all good. Alright, so timing, lower tire cover is on. It's a bit skanky, but no one's going to see it, so it don't matter too much. Don't forget to put this little plate on as well inside. I had to take the water pump thingy off to be able to get this cover on. Next we're going to put the serpentine tensioner on. This is the actual bearing that goes on the tensioner. It's really crusty on this. To buy this whole unit new is quite expensive. They're like 60 quid, 70 quid. But I found a bearing just to replace it. So I'm going to press this one out and put the new one in. That's the part number if anyone wants it. That's the one. But yeah, makes it a lot easier. This was like 7 quid. So hopefully that goes well. Let's press that in. There we go. New bearing all pressed in, lovely. Lovely and smooth. Save yourself some money and just do that. Easy peasy. Alright, so got the serpentine tensioner back on. I didn't film it because I mean it's self-explanatory. It's 3 bolts. Cover on, and just push this on by hand. It's always good to get a new bolt. It's only like, I don't know, 4 quid or something. There's the part number if you want it, because these go up to crazy high torque specs, so you don't want to be snapping it. So just get a new one. You might as well. Painted this up, but yeah, it's looking pretty good, mate. Now I'm just gonna bolt this on. I can't torque this bolt up yet because I don't have a torque wrench big enough. I didn't show it as well, but I also torqued these to 60 foot-pounds. There's a little bit on the camshafts where you can put a 32mm spanner on, and then you just torque it up. Same within there. And then this outer one you just do sort of tight. It doesn't have to be to crazy torque or anything. It's just a little seal. Yeah, looking bloody nice, mate. Right, so I got a bit carried away bolting stuff on and forgot to film, but the other bits I've bolted on are pretty self-explanatory. Just the alternator, power steering pump. That's looking fresh. Freshy HKS timing belt, fine-tuned belt. Nice. We also painted the valve covers. Orange candy gold, I think it was called. I was hoping for more of a gold, but it's more orange, but I don't know. We're going to wait until it's in the car and then we'll decide. But yeah, it's getting there. Put a little oil filter on. This is just a cheap Bosch one for now, just for the first start up. It's getting there, it's getting there. Most of it's done now. But yeah, she's all assembled now. Now time to, we've got a nice intake arrived. You'll see that in the next video. Popping that on, putting the injectors in, and then we'll be making the wiring loom for it, because we've got some sick bits for that as well, which you'll see in a few videos. So stay tuned. What do you have to say, Ross? Is it done yet? Almost. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. It's probably a long video because it's from start to finish with the whole build. I tried to do it as detailed as possible, but without being too boring. If there's some bits I missed out, you can just look up. They're online everywhere anyway. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.